So we're here in Hong Kong with Sifu Chris, Mindful Wing Chun, and Sensei Craig and Sifu are now going to go through some of how they generate power from very short range.
Alright, so we're going to take a look at two strikes, but the basis of the strike, so the thing I'm going to talk about mainly is the importance of your balance, your center line, and how you use that to pick up where the other person is. Today we were talking about a snap kick, so I'll use that and then I'll use a strike as well. If I can just get Craig to hold the bag out nice and strong. What tends to happen when we go for a strike is that the majority of our awareness goes to the thing that we're going to strike, number one, and number two, to the particular limb that I'm using. So if Craig's holding the bag up, if I need to do a strike here, most of my awareness runs into my fist and I think about my fist hitting the bag, or with a kick, I think about my awareness running into my leg and using the leg to kick. What happens though in both of these scenarios is that when the awareness leaves the body, on impact with anything, it's the lack of awareness in my body here. When I say awareness, I basically just mean the sensitivity to my body. So if I strike with most of the awareness in my fist, I lose the awareness or sensitivity of my spine. And if Craig is quite strong or the thing that I'm hitting is quite solid, some force bounces back into me because I'm not tending to my balance. So the very first thing that I talked about was striking in relation to having your balance. If I strike something and my balance is anchored and it doesn't move, it means the force goes towards the opponent or whatever I'm striking and not back into me, simply through maintaining your balance and awareness of that, actually. Trying to think of a real way to keep it simple. So let's take a look at the snap kick. The snap kick is just something that we use our shin to drive straight forward through the center line, and it might be used in a real situation. I've got some guy, if Craig is coming to do like a roundhouse kick towards me or something like that, if I'm quick enough and I can snap kick straight towards the center, I can kick him in the groin and get out of the way and all this sort of stuff. So it's mainly technically just a self-defense thing. Kick him in the groin and get the hell out of there. So what we want to look for here, and there's a couple of things we're going to pay attention to. First, I'm going to start to bring awareness to my balance, and I'm going to try not to let my awareness run into my leg and kick the bag, but try to keep it back here and try to stay stable as I kick. And I think you can see from the first few kicks I did already, when I'm not thinking about this and I kick, it doesn't have as much of an effect on Craig as when I take care of my center and kick through. It sort of picks up the body just that little bit more. And that's without any intention yet of, and this is part number two, as Craig holds the bag now, I'm going to anchor onto my center. Now, being a structure as well and a body and having a balance line in the posture that he's in too, what if when I kick, I just don't think about swinging my leg up just to connect with the bag, but I think about it anchoring into my center and cutting or trying to pick up Craig's center. And being a structure, there's a couple of ways to do it. Craig, can you do a couple of kicks for me? If you take a look at my body, what Craig's doing now, because we're working on it today, and I'm holding quite tense so you can see the difference, is when the connection is made with the bag, it's not only picking up the bag, but it's picking up the person that's holding the bag behind it, or the structure that's holding the bag, holding the pad. Punching is done exactly the same way, so we use a smaller pad to just get a little bit more of an effect. If Craig goes to do a strike, if you just do one of your particular strikes, okay, pretty good. It's got a lot of power, a lot of stability, a lot of control behind it. But in the video, you'll see, if you watch it back, a little bit of a recoil, a little bit. So why don't we make it a bit more efficient by anchoring that, and now when you strike, don't let that go anywhere and let the force come just to me. So just that simple thought, even without the relaxation, even without that, all of those ideas involved. The minute I feel this connect with me, this stability picks up my instability and moves me. Now the last part with the striking is, like we talked about with the kick, it's a little bit more easy to highlight it with the bag, with the pad, sorry, here with the punch. Not only find your center and anchor and strike, but look, because I'm a structure now, I'm an object now, where's my center and how can you use your punch, if I may. So if the camera can, I'm going to do it with a little bit of a pivot. You can come in a little bit. Don't just hit the bag. Have a look for Craig standing in a particular posture. Wherever his center line is, I'm not going to think here, I'm going to think, where's that line? And how do I start to use my strike to affect where that line is?
Right.
And then with the relaxation, we drop everything, we turn, we relax, and we accelerate it into that, which makes it a little bit more sharper, a little bit more precise, because you're actually going for that thing. You don't have to practice this hard, guys. We're all martial artists. We can hit, we can strike, we can do all of that stuff. With this stuff, really, if you just get a pad, you can, if you're honest with yourself, you can feel. If I'm not balanced here, I can feel when that's shaking. If I'm a bit tense here, I can feel when it's doing that. I can feel the difference when my awareness is hitting the pad versus looking for Craig's center and trying to pick up wherever that is. And when we start playing in that way, I think there's nothing more efficient, because you're taking a person's center, balance away, stuff like that. We can talk for hours on this subject, but this is just some information on it.
No, that's very good. Thank you, Sifu. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.